Okay, if there is anyone, then we can wait for 5 minutes.
Okay, sure. Let us wait for 2-3 minutes more then.
Okay.
Meanwhile, may I know about the attendees? So I see the names. First one is Bala. Hi, Bala. So can you just introduce yourself? Okay, I think some problem. I see Dhaneshwar. So hi, Dhaneshwar.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. So can you just give me a brief introduction about you and any experience on Ariba, Ariba CIG, or anything related to SAP Ariba products?
Okay, so my name is Dhaneshwar Mirkad, and I'm having about 6 years of experience in total, and out of that, 4 years into the Ariba. And
Okay.
I'm looking forward to get the training on the CIG part because I have not worked on CIG till date. I want to explore it as because of the market demand.
Okay, cool. So in Ariba, which modules of Ariba have you worked upon?
I work on the downstream majorly.
Okay, so was it functional or integration or technical?
Functional.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was
Then
a functional, but I want to explore into the integration part. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, then having you in this training will be very good, and obviously this training will be beneficial for you because CIG, as you might be knowing, is the only way of integration going forward for Ariba, right? So
Yes.
yeah. So thanks for introduction. So I see the next name, Ekta. Hi, Ekta.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Ekta. Can you just give me a brief introduction about yourself and any experience on Ariba or any product? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So this is Ekta. I have experience in Ariba upstream and downstream. So in downstream, I was working in P2O, and CIG part, as I'm still working, but I don't have much exposure in that. So I just want to learn more about this. That is why I attended the session.
Okay, so how many years of experience have you been working on Ariba or SAP?
SAP Ariba, I have 3 years of experience.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you have good some knowledge on CIG, then obviously you will get more knowledge, more understanding, and many other cool stuff that we have in CIG. So thanks for introduction.
Yeah, thank you.
So Santosh, I see your name next. Hi.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, so this is Santosh. So I have experience working on Ariba and but that is only into upstream and downstream. But I want to explore on CIG part.
Okay.
For the session.
I'm sorry, Santosh, but you were not very much clear. You were breaking in between. I hope you can clear my voice clearly so that you do not get any problem in understanding the session today.
Your voice is clear.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Ashok, and I have 12 years of total experience with SAP, SAP Ariba, and Ariba CIG, integrations, and many more stuff. So my total career of 12 years has been only with SAP and SAP Ariba, and I have been involved in many projects, integration projects with Ariba, not only in India but globally. So right now I'm conducting a few trainings on CIG, so that's why I'm here. And yeah, I have got experience on all the modules of Ariba, maybe Ariba downstream, upstream, SLP, Ariba network, CIG, and also on the MM side of SAP ERP, the old system that we have, that is ECC, and coming one that is S4HANA on-prem and S4HANA on cloud. So I have been mainly on the MM person, and procurement has been my domain throughout my career so far. So that's all from my side basically. So yeah, so we will start with the sessions. I think we have already waited for a couple of minutes. So let us begin. And if anyone has any questions, you can just stop me in between and you can put up your questions, or for some reason if your voice is not audible, something is happening, you can just raise your hand, or you can just put on your question on the chat and I will see it and we'll discuss upon that one. All right. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen, hope you can see it. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so CIG, very commonly known as a CIG, and the full form is Cloud Integration Gateway. Is the font readable, or I can increase the font if it is not very much clearly visible? Let me increase. Is it fine now?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so thanks. So Cloud Integration Gateway. So when we talk about Ariba, or mainly we talk about only of Ariba because CIG is a product of Ariba. So Ariba has been in the market for more than, I think, almost 20 years or even more, and it has been dramatically changed in past couple of years. I mean, initially Ariba was on-prem application. That means we had to install the application on the customer premise, and there they have to take care of everything. And slowly Ariba has completely moved from on-prem to on cloud. Now when we talk about procurement cloud system, Ariba is the top in the world. Nobody can beat. We have certain, I mean, Ariba has certain competitors, but they are not up to that mark that or those functionalities that Ariba provides. So Ariba has got many. I hear some noise. I don't know if my system or something else. Oh, it's quite nice. Thanks, anyone. So yeah. So when we talk about Ariba, so Ariba has got various modules, as we know. So one is like Ariba Downstream. That is very common name for it. So we'll go only with common names, and we will not go into more into Ariba products. But just to introduce with CIG, we have to just talk about a bit about Ariba products and Ariba modules. Ariba Upstream, and in the upstream we see, I mean, it's complete sourcing. So we have SLP and contract management and everything. So together it's called as Ariba Upstream. And the third one is Ariba Network. So in Ariba Network, we have two things, I mean, basically three things: supplier network, and the one is buyer network, and also there's something called Ariba Discovery, that is also part of Ariba Network. So these are the four major products, you can say, or four major product categories that Ariba provides for the complete end-to-end process for any procurement services. Now, if we talk about the integration between these systems, yeah, they are the whole and soul product of Ariba. So the integration between them is native. When we say native, that means Ariba Downstream can talk to Ariba Upstream without any integration. The data migration happens, the data sync happens just by running certain scheduled tasks, and that's it. When we talk about Ariba Downstream and Ariba Network, yes, it is also flawlessly worked without any external integration or without the help of any third-party tool or any other component of Ariba. They talk to each other internally without any other interface. Ariba Network, yeah, so there are two components. One is supplier network, other is buyer network. They are actually the same system, but two different URLs. They have the same database altogether. The data lies in the same database, and the transactions between buyer and supplier network is very much internal. So it's like the purchase order. Let's take a very short example of purchase order. It comes from the external system. It may come from the downstream. It may also come from the ERPs. Now, when we talk about ERP, it could be any ERP. So the purchase order comes to Ariba Network buyer account, and from the buyer account, it goes to Ariba Network supplier account. Similarly, supplier can take actions on that, and he can, for example, he creates an invoice, that he creates the invoice in Ariba network supplier account, and it goes to Ariba network buyer account, and based upon the routing configurations, it can go to either to Ariba downstream or the ERP wherever the purchase order has been initiated. Now, so they do not, even same thing is with Ariba Discovery. So Ariba Discovery is more about RFQ, and it doesn't require any integration with any other component. So talking about only with Ariba is very much internal, native integration, nothing to do, plain and simple, they work very well. But when we talk about the implementation with the ERPs, or we can say integration with ERPs. Now, ERPs, we talk about the major ERPs, the very much major ERP that Ariba gets integrated is SAP ERP, like the old ECC systems and new S4 HANA systems. So when we talk to say S4 HANA system, it could be S4 on cloud or S4 on prem. So anything. So other ERPs like PeopleSoft and Microsoft. So there are many ERPs XYZ. So I can just put ... So there are many ERPs that are available in the market, and Ariba is capable of getting integrated with those ERPs very smoothly. Now, before SAP acquired Ariba, so Ariba was a standalone company. I hope you guys might be knowing it. So Ariba was a standalone company. It was its own company, but SAP acquired Ariba in the year near 2011 or 12. So after acquiring Ariba has changed a lot, and with that the integration part has completely changed. Initially the integration used to happen between different third-party integration tools or add-ons or many other things that we had. Now, what was the major problem? So if you guys know like what is integration is, or what a customer implementation is, so what are the major problems that we deal while integrations? Any guess? What are the major issues that we face? Suppose we have Ariba system and we have let's say any third party ERP. So if I want to integrate with Ariba with any third party, it may be SAP ERP as well, any ERP, if we have, or any two system, if we are integrating, not only Ariba, system A and system B, we want to get integrate system A and system B. What will be the main points that we have to consider? Any guesses? Well, the first thing is time. Let me take it very simple way, so that I will not try to make it very complex. I will try to make it very simple. First thing could be time. Second thing could be like data interchangeable. How much data can be interchanged and how the data can flow flawlessly integrate between the two systems. And what else it could be? Cost. Obviously, for any company, cost is very primary thing, because everything that happens has some cost to it. If they are getting some service from Ariba or any other third party, they have to pay for that. So cost is the other major concern. Complexity, how complex it is, because the integration requires so many things. Two systems are designed completely different. They have different data set. They have different data structure. Ariba understands CXML. ERP understands, for example, our SAP ERP understands ABAP or OData. So whatever. So there are two different file formats, two different data structures. They cannot talk to each other so easily. So obviously it is very complex to do, right? So let us keep only these four things as of now. So time, data interchangeability, cost, and complexity. So before integrating all those things, these are the four major things that we have to consider before going forward on that project. We have to get an estimated time, like how much time it may take. Now, initially, it used to take for one customer to go live with Ariba and with any third-party ERP, it used to take from 6 months to 1 year of time to go live. I mean, for 6 months they have to use in demo systems or test accounts, and then they will go slowly and slowly doing the setup integration, doing the different flows working, different file formats supported, and different processes to be approved. It used to take from 6 months to 1 year to one customer to go live, and that is the minimum I'm saying. Sometimes it used to take more than that. I have been a project that ran for almost 2 years, and after 2 years the customer went live. So it was very much time consuming, because it was a huge effort. It requires lots of manpower, lots of time and everything. And obviously when the consultants are traveling, or they are taking some services, so companies has to bear the cost for all those things. So it was very much costing for them. So cost comes under all those things. Cost could be like what are third party tools they are using, what are third party licenses they might be required, purchasing, many more things. So cost was other things. Data interchangeability, yeah, it was there, because not all add-ons or not all third-party tools support all the things. We have to compromise somewhere. Not everything was possible to achieve, right? So it was another big challenge. So we have to consider that also. And the last one is a complexity. Each customer has their own business rules. Each customer has their own business standard. Now, Ariba is customizable to up to very much extent, but we cannot say about the same thing with the tool that we are using, the third-party add-on we are using, or the adapter that we are using, whether that adapter or that add-on system will be able to, formulate the data in such a way like that two systems can talk to each other, and it will be easy to implement. I mean, it's not only one way. Adapter is in between. One side is Ariba, other side is ERP. So how the adapter will behave, how much load it can take, and something is failing in between from Ariba to the ERP. In Ariba it is successful, and in ERP it has not reached. Is it available in add-on? Did it fail in add-on? Where it is? We have to know that. So there were so many complexities that were available while implementing. Even today, many customers who are not on CIG, they are going to be CIG very soon, and many customers are on CIG, but the customers who are not on CIG or who are still using legacy systems, they are facing all those issues still today, and Ariba is somehow managing them. But yeah, that's a different story. So these are the 4 major concerns that I can think of as of now. There could be many more that are required before we go for any implementation. And that's why customer used to get afraid. Okay, I have to tackle all these 3 or 4 complexity. Oh my God, it may take a long time. It is too much expensive for me. It is too complex. I cannot go for integration. And customer used to, they were not so much interested in getting the things done, and because it was very much complex for them altogether. Now what if I say you all these complexities are gone and you can do the integration your own? You are not required to have any third party consultant, any special services. The time that we say is going to take 6 months to 1 year, I would say you can go live in 1 month, or even less than that, or maybe in 1 week maximum. You can do the integration in 1 or 2 days, and then you can remaining 3-4 days you can just do that testing. And if I say you the data interchangeability, my tool will do all the validations. It will run some automatic test, and you can see how is the performance and how the data is flowing properly. Cost, there is no additional cost. It will come free of cost to you if you purchase Ariba license, and you are not required to pay any extra penny to any third-party consultant or any third-party institute or anybody else. Not even Ariba consultant are not very much required. Complexity is not very much complex. No programming language required. Just here and there, click, 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 done. So 4 clicks and the job is done. This is that much simple. But if I say all these things to a customer, what will be his response? First of all, it will be difficult for him to understand how is it possible. But yeah, it is possible. And all these things are possible by a single tool that is called CIG, Cloud Integration Gateway. So CIG deals with all these 3 or 4 complexity very easily. It is easy to use, and customer can easily go live. They can manage the data, they can track the data, they can customize the data, they can do some customizations as per their business requirement, and it's just very as simple as just next, and done. So creating the CIG projects, managing the projects, changing the project, doing the customization, and also checking the history of the transactions, like how many transactions have been gone, what the status of each transaction, is it failed, success, where it is failed, failure, error, everything. All those things are available in a single place called CIG. And moreover, it comes free of cost. If you take a license for Ariba product, any license or any product from Ariba, CIG is able, or CIG is free to you to use, and you can do the integration of your Ariba product with any ERP in the world. When I say any ERP, it is any ERP. Okay. So any new thing coming that I cannot say, but yeah, right now any ERP in the market, whatever is available, every major ERP is possible to be connected by a CIG with Ariba. All right. So these are the few things about the CIG and the few history, what used to happen before the CIG, and how, and what changes are being seen after CIG has been implemented. So all those complexities, everything has been gone, and the integration with Ariba with any ERP is click, 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 done. It is that simple. So let me walk you through about the CIG features, functionalities, and I will show you some CIG integration. Since this is a demo session, so I will not go into detail for each and every topic, but I will show you each and everything, or whatever I can try to explain you. In between, if you have any questions, just raise your hand or put up your question. I welcome those. So cloud integration gateway. So very first thing that I would say, it is like the CIG is on cloud. It is not something that you have to download, you have to install, you have to purchase a license, nothing. It is a cloud application, a cloud tool, and it is available on a cloud. It has a public URL. You can open the URL. You can, if you have an account with Ariba, you can just put in your user ID and password and you're in. So it is an open URL, it's public URL. That is why it is called cloud integration. Everything is the integration, all the integration is happening on the cloud. So you see even the diagram or the image that they have selected for the CIG is the same thing. We have different sets of cloud and they are all integrated. And moreover, CIG is capable of integrating not only cloud applications, but on-prem applications with the cloud and vice versa. For example, Ariba is a cloud application and some ERP is not a cloud ERP. They are on-prem ERP. Okay, no problem. CIG is capable of doing that. You can connect or you can integrate your on-prem ERP with on-cloud Ariba applications or vice versa. If you have a cloud ERP and a cloud Ariba, you can communicate both the things. So CIG is that much capable of doing the things. Now this is some schedule that we will see if we go for the session, but right now we'll just, so just a reference, like wherever we talk CIG, it simply means cloud integration gateway. Whenever we see add-on or SAP Ariba add-on, we can just say add-on, or even this document, if you see something somewhere written as add-on, it means SAP Ariba add-on. Ariba network will be called as AN. Ariba sourcing solutions, it is everything, Ariba contract management and everything, our SLP, they are called Ariba sourcing, and Ariba contract solution will be called as Ariba contract. Ariba procurement will be Ariba procurement. So let us see few things about the CIGs, then I'll show you the screens. So there are certain good words that SAP Ariba CIG big people or the developers or the director level people say, like deeper with SAP, broader with non-SAP, easier for all. I mean, it is deeper with SAP simply means you can go deep and deep. More complex things can be made very easily. Broader to non-SAP, that means you can connect with non-SAP ERPs. It is not limited only with SAP ERP, but any ERP in the world, and it is capable of integration, integrate with any ERP. Easier for all. As I mentioned, it is just click, 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 done. So that is, it is that much easy. You're not required to have any additional qualification or additional, technical knowledge or any programming language knowledge like Java, ABAP, or anything else. No, nothing, no required. You just need to have a laptop, a browser, and access. That's it. Next, you know how to navigate a cloud application. You have some button, click on those buttons, put a field, save, delete, whatever you want to, you can do. This is that much simple. Now this is the extension, or we can say what CIG supports. So here, if you can read clearly, it is very big document, or it's not possible to read out everything. But if you can see my screen clearly, it is capable of connecting 21 different master data if we talk about Ariba sourcing. So 21 different master data for Ariba sourcings are supported, and with that, these many different document or flows or documents, everything, they are supported, like purchasing organization, purchasing group. These are all master data. Product sourcing, purchase info record, manufacturer part number, bill of materials. It is read because this document is I think 1 year old. So that time bill of material was not fully functional, but yeah, now it is fully functional. SLP, inbound and outbound, both. Even the sourcing retail, if you have understanding on sourcing product, you might be knowing what is the sourcing retail or retail industry. In that also we have some article master, characteristics, profiles, everything, they all are supported. So this was for Ariba sourcing master data. Now if we talk about Ariba buyer master data, we have like account categories, asset classes, company code, cost center languages, yeah, community codes, general ledger, internal orders, plant, and so many other things are there. All these master means 38 different master data from the procurement or Ariba P2P or P2O, whatever you say. They all master data are supported by a CIG. CIG can support all those transactions or master data transactions to and from your ERP and Ariba procurement. If we talk about sourcing transactions, so like RFQ to quote request, quote message, sourcing about to PO, sourcing about to outline agreement, contract, workspace, and scheduling agreement. These are the various transactions that are supported, and now these numbers have been increased. As I said, this document is I think 1.5 year old. So this transactions has increased. CIG does the upgrade or they implement new functionalities every month. So every month they either have some new flows to be added, or some small or major bugs to be fixed every month. So the fixation happens every month. If we talk about Ariba P2P transactions, various transactions or name a transaction that is supported by a CIG, that is material PO, service PO, change PO, blah blah blah, expense report, PO status, FI invoices. So that FI invoices is kind of a non-PO invoices. So SES response, catalogs, everything is supported. All these transactions are supported from Ariba P2P as well, and they are quite possible if you have your CIG, Ariba procurement, and any third-party ERP or SAP ERP. Coming to Ariba network buyer side, so Ariba network has two components, buyer and supplier. So from Ariba network buyer side, you see 42 different transactions are supported. Now in Ariba network, we don't have master data. If you have worked on Ariba network or some experience on Ariba network, you might be knowing Ariba network does not contain any master data. It just has it is just a transactional application where only the transactional documents flows. So there is no master data. It only has a transactions. So 42 different transactions from buyer side, they all are supported. Now you can see it. I mean, it is just a normal, then service, then SMI, discount, supply chain collaboration, quality management, all those things related to Ariba network buyer side, they all are supported. The next part is Ariba network supplier side, that is sell side, that is CIG. So CIG is not only available only for buyer, but there are many suppliers who are big suppliers and who have their supplier ERPs, right? So CIG takes care of that as well. Supplier can use CIG to integrate their supplier ERP. I'm not talking about the buyer ERP. Right now, we were talking only about the buyer ERP. These all are buyer ERPs, but there are many big suppliers who use supplier ERPs. So it reduces the complexities even for suppliers. So 80 different transactions are supported by a CIG from Ariba network supplier side. And you might be knowing about EDI, where we have NC12, right? NC12 format, all those things. So all those EDI transactions are supported by a CIG. If some supplier have EDI systems, they can communicate with CIG. Initially, it was a very big difficult for Ariba. Like Ariba used to have a third party serve as a service provider where they used to integrate with third party, and the supplier ERP used to get interconnected with that. That means Ariba will communicate with third party and supplier will communicate with that third party, and that third party will they will in their system make the integration between the Ariba and their supplier, so that complete management was with a third party. Now that has all completely gone. Now Ariba used to pay for the third party, and also the supplier used to have to pay for that third party. Both the parties have to pay for the third party now. That time, but now what has happened? Once the supplier have the CIG, no need to go to third party. You have your EDA system, well and good. We support it. Come, do the integrations, enable your CIG in your account. You are a customer of Ariba. You need not require pay anything extra. Just click enable, configure, done. So all those transactions, EDA transactions are possible. Now, if we talk about any other, like there are different file format, Edifact, NC12, Edifact data. So all those different, everything or any supplier ERP, whatever file format they have, whatever transactions they have, all those things are completely and smoothly covered or configured by Ariba CIG. Any questions? Okay, a silence means no questions. Let us see a few more things. Now this is something that how CIG is evolving, what are the different roadmaps that the CIG has planned to implement. So this is talking about those, but yeah, we'll talk about in regular sessions more. We'll understand what each transactions looks like and what are the different components that are coming up or different enhancement that is happening. So this is also the roadmap. Now this is a single screen image, you can say, that talks everything that we had discussed so far. So we have SAP Ariba in between, we have Ariba network, Ariba buyer side, Ariba supplier side, Ariba procurement, source to settle, everything, and they all under a single umbrella of CIG or Ariba Cloud Integration Gateway. Now this is an internal, and all the things outside are the different ERPs that are supported. Left side is like SAP ERPs, SAP Fieldglass. So if you have SAP Fieldglass, okay, you can connect with the Ariba network with CIG. SAP Integrated Business Planning, IBP system, SAP IBP system, okay, you can connect with CIG. SAP Concur, SAP S4HANA, or many other components of SAP. They all are fully adaptable, or they can communicate with the Ariba systems with the help of CIG. Right side is non-SAP ERP, so you can see Oracle, NetSuite, Workday, and so many things. They all are capable, or CIG is capable of connecting to these third-party ERPs. Not only this, CIG is capable of connecting with partners. CIG is also capable of connecting with IoTs. So if some customer have IoT systems, or they are doing some innovations on IoT things, okay, you can carry on those things with the help of CIG. So buyer side, we have add-ons, S4HANA, ERP, Oracle. Supplier side, we have Edifact, NC2, X12, OAGS, Gauzy, so many blah blah things. So these are our third-party different tools like Microsoft Dynamics, QuickBooks, and PHP. So all these things are fully acceptable, and they all can be integrated with CIG very easily. That means, in short, it is a single place or a single tool that to free, no additional cost. And that's why customers are moving to CIG, because they have to pay no extra money for that. And they can communicate all the things to the entire global world. Now, what is CIG? So it says increasing complexity of the enterprise resource planning applications portfolio is driving the need for defined postmortem application integration strategy. That means the way the world is changing. I mean, with the new technologies coming up, the world has changed completely in past. I won't go so far. It just in past 6-7 years, the world has changed completely, and with the complete change in the world, it is required like the system can communicate each other in a different portfolio or a different strategy. So that's why the CIG has come in that way. Now these were the things that we discussed, like what our customers are saying about integration. It was complex, time consuming, and dependencies. Like obviously it was complex and time consuming, like it takes long time for deployment, for go live, and for many other things. Now complex in sense of cumbersome, costly, inefficient, and difficult to maintain integration. Like once you have done the integration, you have to maintain it. So all those things were very complex. Dependency means whatever you have taken the service from, or whatever tool you're using, or whatever third party you're using, all those things are dependent. We have to maintain those dependencies. Now all those things have been removed by CIG. So it is single gateway to integrate all your applications. You're not required to go anywhere else. You're not required to purchase any third party tool, adapter, or add-on, nothing. Go live in week or not months or year. I mean, as I said, a customer can go live just in a single week or two maximum. Initially, it used to take months and years. Do it yourself, DIY. This is very much important. As I said, like you're not required to take any help from any third-party institute, third-party consultant, or in many cases, not even with Ariba consultant, a customer. Now, when I say customer, it could be a buyer or it could be supplier. Supplier for Ariba, both are customers. So a customer can do it themselves. They have to just enable it, configure it, run it. So that is what it says, do it yourself. What it says, SAP Ariba Cloud Integration Gateway enabled by SAP Cloud Platform Integrations, so CPI. So let me give you one small thing or small help. So CIG is built on top of CPI. CPI is Cloud Platform Integration. This is a open, not open, I would say it's not open, it is license based, but it is a platform for integrations from SAP side for the customers. So CIG is built on top of CPI. Okay, so CIG gives you a fast, simple way to connect your SAP Ariba solution back-end systems and trading partners. Intuitive self-service tools let you quickly configure, extend, and test processes, while automated upgrades are monitored, make it easy to keep transactions flowing smoothly. So whatever word I read here, they are complete in themselves. Like it is a single place to manage all the things in a single place without any complexity. So it is simple, self-service, and speed. It's very much simple. Self-service, you can do it yourself, and speed. I mean, you can do it in weeks or days, and the transaction flows happen very smoothly. So speed means in both the sense, like it can be integrated easily, faster way, and the transactions happen very quickly over here. So they explain the same things. Now this is what I was saying, the 3-step: configure, extend, and test. What you have to do in configure, you have to enable buyer side CIG account. If it is buyer side, it could be supplier side, any side. You have to just enable the CIG. I will show you where to do that. And install and configure SAP Cloud Integration add-on for SAP ERP and S/4HANA. So this is not on Ariba side. So this is on the SAP side, on the ERP side. You have to install one CIG add-on from the SAP side. It comes automatically. You can install it, and that installation doesn't take more than 2 hours. Extend. So when we say extend, what you can do in SAP extension framework in add-on interface, you can extend your flows. In CIG, custom XSLT can be used for additional data mapping. Like you can in CIG side, there are certain standard XSLT mapping or standard data that has, and now you can, if a customer has more requirement for some additional mapping, they can go for accessibility custom mapping as well. Test automated end-to-end testing that I said very initially, like see, you can do the testing automatically in CIG. CIG can do a test for you. So automated end-to-end testing via predefined scripts. Add customized test cases. If you want to test your scenarios based upon your business requirement or something, you can add your customized test cases. So CIG itself has some test cases. On top of that, you can add your customized test cases and CIG will test it for you. It will say it is successful or failed, everything. So these are same thing that we discussed above, everything is combined in one way, like in cloud integration gateway, what can be done, like Wizard, DevTools, self-test, self-deployment, monitoring. Now, whatever we have discussed, let me show you how do we enable, disable CIG, and in CIG, what are the different things, or whatever we talked, like click next, done, all those things, test panel, transaction, configuration, customization. Let me show you those things in the CIG so that you may get some confidence. Okay, like this is not something that SAP has documented, but it is in true. So let me try to show all those things. So right now I will just show you how to go to CIG from Ariba network side. You can go to the same page from Ariba P2P side or Ariba sourcing side as well. So okay, let me show you, because most of you are from the either from Ariba downstream or from Ariba upstream. So let me show you from Ariba downstream or upstream how we can enable, disable CIG and how can we reach to CIG. So give me a moment. So this realm is SSO for me. So I just have to enter it, and this is done SSO for us. So we can log into this realm automatically. Okay. So this is Ariba sourcing. So I'm in the Ariba sourcing right now. Now how and where I can see CIG, I have to just go to administration. And here we have the integration manager. Oh, maybe I don't have access to see. Okay, here we have, yeah. And here we have the cloud integration gateway option under integration manager under administration, right? If I open it, if I click on it, I come to this page. Now here you see, it says enabled. That means the CIG is enabled in this realm. And these are the different tasks that I can extend, or I can enable, disable those tasks. If I want to disable CIG, I have just to click on disable. And once I disable, the CIG is disabled for me. And then this button will be replaced with the enable. And once I enable it, the CIG will be enabled. So it is that much simple. Just a click away. If I want to go to CIG, I can just click on this link and I will get navigated or redirected to the CIG in a new tab. Now this was from this supplier side, sorry, sourcing side. Same thing from the buyer side, that is from core administration. Like here we came to administration, and once I'm on Ariba buyers procurement, you see I'm in a procurement buyer. So the core administration, same thing over here under integration manager, and we have cloud integration gateway, nothing difference. I can open it, and now here I can see the task related to the procurement. So all these tasks are enabled. So they are enabled, and the status is CIG status is enabled, and I can disable it or I can navigate it to. Let me try to navigate it to CIG. I'll click on this. So you see, the moment I clicked, a new tab has opened and the CIG is loading for me. So what happens? Let me try to tell you. So in this account or in this realm, it was already enabled. But what happens if it is not enabled, or I'm enabling it for the very first time in any account? What will happen? So There is, I mean, right now I just clicked on it and CIG is loading for me because it was already enabled and it is already configured. But if it is not enabled and not configured, then what will happen? Let me try to explain those things now. For a freshly enabled account, so first thing, you click on enable button. So that is the first thing you do. Now what happens after that? That is more important to know. Once you click on the enable button, what happens in the background of Ariba? For that realm, or for that account, I can say, because in Ariba, each realm is an account, a customer account. For that realm or for that account, a P user is created. Now, many times this question is asked, what is P user? So P stands for nothing. It is just a name given for a CPI user, CPI, that is SAP Cloud Platform Integration, right, on which the CIG is built on. So there a unique name is given for each user ID or for each account. So that is called P user, but P stands for nothing. Okay, it is just a name. Terminology is from the CPI tenant or CPI technology. So a P user is created for that. Now what happens next? This P user is linked with the account network ID, or you can say ANID. So each account, each realm in Ariba, every account has their own ANID, their own network ID. You might be knowing it already. If not, then we will discuss this when we will be in regular sessions. So that P user is linked with the ANID. That means one account, irrespective of the sourcing, P2P or Ariba network, because all those three products will have a common ANID. So a common or single P user is created. Doesn't matter whether you are enabling a CIG from sourcing or you are enabling it from the network or you are enabling it from the Ariba P2P. Doesn't matter where you are enabling it. If the P user is not created for that NID, a P user will be created. If a P user is already created for that NID, the same P user will be used. That means, suppose if I enable the CIG from Ariba network, now I have enabled from Ariba network. Now what will happen? A P user will be created and that P user will get linked with my NID. Now tomorrow, somebody else goes and try to enable the CIG in Ariba P2P. Now what will happen? It will not create a new P user. Instead, it will use the same P user that was created when I enabled it from the Ariba network side. So for one NID, there is always and always one P user. If the P user and NID are not in sync, a new P user will be created. And for an NID, if a P user exists, then doesn't matter where you enable or disable, the same P user will be used. For example, if I disable the CIG today, what will happen? Nothing will happen. It will get status as disabled. But tomorrow, if I re-enable, what will happen? Nothing will happen. The same P user will be used. A new P user will not be created. What happens next? An email is sent to the administrator. Administrator of what? Administrator of the account of the realm. An email is sent to the administrator that this P user has been created for your NID, and there the administrator has to approve or accept it. Basically, it is accept. It's not approved. He has to accept it. Oh, I accept it. It is in his knowledge. This is just a manual, you can say, email confirmation, like on their account, the CIG has been enabled and the administrator has to accept it. He accepts it. And once accepted, so if he doesn't accept, so there are two things: if he accepts and if he does not accept. If he doesn't accept, then there are certain tasks that runs in the background of Ariba to sync the data between the CPI database or the CIG database and the realm. So if the administrator does not accept it, that sync does not happen. That means the data does not get synced between the two systems. Why it is so? It is so maybe because somebody is unintentionally enabling the CIG and administrator is not knowing about it. So it could be some breakdown or data breach in the customer side. That is why administrator's approval or acceptance is required. But when the administrator accepts it, that data sync happens between the realm or network account and the CIG database. So that data gets synced. So when accepted, data sync happens. And there's one more thing that happens. So for making the integration work properly or to make it work smoothly, there are certain permissions assigned to this P user, because this P user is a single place to connect with CIG and a single place to connect all the Ariba products. So it requires some authorization to connect with various systems or various third-party tools and everything. So what happens? Some authorization, some important authorizations basically are granted to what? To P user. Because since administrator has accepted it, that means for that P user, those authorizations are granted that with the help of that P user, the integration can be done to any ERP in the world. So that administrator's acceptance grants that permission. So this is what happens when you enable this CIG on the very first time. So all those steps what I mentioned here, they happens very quickly. I mean, they happen, you click it and you get the email, or the administrator get the email in next 1 or 2 minutes. That's it. And once he gets the email, I think there is a time for 24 hours or maybe 48 hours. I just can't remember. It is something 24 or 48 hours of time that he have to accept it. If it is not accepted in that time, it will get auto rejected. Okay, so in that 24 hour, or suppose if you are the administrator, then you will get the email in your inbox and you can go and accept it, and that's it. So in real time, if you are the administrator and you are enabling it, then it is just 2-minute task. You click on enable button that I just showed you. So you click on here will be enable button. You click on that enable button, check your emails. Email will be there in your account, and once you see the email, okay, accept it. Once accepted, all set. CIG is enabled for that account. Now, once CIG is enabled, what happens next? So once CIG is enabled, this link will get activated, Widget Cloud Integration Gateway. Until that time, this link will not be available. So this link will be here, the status will be enabled, and the button will be as disabled. So in just 2 minutes, the CIG gets enabled. Once you see the administrator sees this link, he can click on the link and he will get navigated to CIG. So since this is account, I mean where the CIG was enabled earlier, so some data is coming over here, but in real time, if you're enabling it very first time, there will be no data. Why? Because this is the very first time you're enabling it. So this is the CIG page that comes. Now what happens in CIG? Now this is CIG. Now what are different tools and components in CIG? So here you can create new integration project. That means you can create a new integration project, means you can, I mean you are creating a project to the outer world. For example, if I say test project, and the product that I want to connect with is either Ariba network, Ariba procurement, or Ariba sourcing. Let me say, let's go with simple things. I choose, okay, I want to integrate my third-party ERP with Ariba network. Okay, now that's what I was saying. Next. So here we see next button. Give a project name, next button. Now this is a connection. So what is a connection? Connection is something that you connect with the external system. So to connect to any system, you need a connection. That means there should be a URL, there should be some HTTP protocol, there should be some user ID and password, or there could be a certificate based authentication. So a connection is created So we will talk about connections in our regular sessions, but right now we will use some existing connections. Okay, I have a connection, I will use the same connection. Just click and the connection is down, nothing else. If I want to create a new connection, I have a button for create a new connection, but anyway, I have selected it, click on next. Okay, mapping. So I am trying to connect it with my SAP ERP. So for SAP ERP, no external add-on mapping is required, because now SAP and Ariba, they are one component, or they are one company. So for communication between SAP and Ariba, no additional requirement or add-on requirement is required. So you can skip this part in case of you have SAP. Click on next. Cross-reference. Here you can give some cross-reference if you had. Now what are cross-reference? That we'll talk in our regular sessions. So there are certain cross-references that you can give for each document type. Otherwise not required. You can just click on next. Unit of measure combination. If you have something to give, you can give, otherwise not required. Next, because unit of measures are anyway standard, so not required. No lookup data given, or I mean this is lookup table. If you want to give some additional information for any specific document type, you can give, otherwise next. And this is your confirmation page, what you have given in these three tabs. Okay, you have selected everything, all is fine. Click on confirm. There we get a confirmation message. Your request to deploy the project in test environment is in progress. The project will be available in your test environment in some time. So why? Because this project is already submitted. It may take some time. Now here you see the test project that I created. Now this is in testing phase. What it means in testing phase? It means if I click on edit, so I logged in with a user called Sunil, so that's why it's showing Sunil name. So here you see this is a test panel that I was talking about, like it has automatic testing. So it is in testing phase. I can either skip the test, I can run the test, or as I said, if you want to some add on your test customized test scenario, you can add a custom test scenario, or you can use some standard test scenario. For example, I want to test a order request. So I have that scenario already created, and that's it. I can just give it and I can run for that test. And once it is run for the test, a time will be scheduled for it for running it. Whatever time you set, so here is the execution time. Whatever time you give, that time this test will take place automatically, and it will tell you the result. You can come back on this screen. It will also send you the result on your email that this test is successful, so that you can see there. So once if everything is fine, that means this is okay to go, and you can make it fully functional and move it to the production. Because right now we are in test account, so you can move it to the production account, and the same project will get migrated from test account to production account. You are not required to do the same step again in the production. So you do the things in test. Once you test everything, once you do all the configuration, move to production, and it will be moved to the production without any additional effort. So this is how a new integration project is created. So that was the first thing that we do. Now let me show you what else I can do. I can view the project, I can edit the project, I can delete the project. For example, oh, this project doesn't look to me, I want to delete it. No problem. Not a good project? Okay, delete it. Delete it. How simple it is, right? Now here the next option is the my configurations. So under my configurations, you see we had 3 projects. So all the 3 projects are appearing. You can see the actions, I mean the same action that we were able to see there. Connections that we talked about, how we create connections. So connections you can see, for example, if I want to show you this connection, you can see that detail, like the transport type is add-on, test and environment, the connection name is this, system ID, that is ERP system ID is this, document type any. That means with this connection I can transact all the documents. Domain name, that is the system URL. So I am connected with the SAP system, so I'm seeing SAP URL. Port, client ID, location ID, authentication basic, that means I'm using basic authentication, which is user ID and password based. So password, username, everything. If you see a certificate based, it will show me the certificate over here. And this is the P user that we were talking about. It is a P user for this account, for the CIG account. Mapping, as we said, like mappings are there which you can make your own custom mappings, or if you have some custom flows and you want to do some customization kind of thing, all those things you can take care in this mapping section. So here all the different, like you will see all the transactions that CIG supports and that Ariba supports, so that all the transactions that we saw in the graphical representation in the PPT. So all those transactions are here. For anything you can just open the mapping. For example, if I want to show you, for example, this is the simple one I can show you. So this says like there is some customization done, and it is this customization is enabled in the text account. This is deployed in the test account. I can deploy in the production account, but everything first we have to do in a test account to test it. So it is already deployed in test account. I want to edit it, I can edit it. I want to view it, I can view it. I want to test it, I can test the mapping, whether the mapping is working fine or not. How many versions have been there? So this is very such a smart system that it will keep a versioning of each change you do. So all the versions are available. Now, for example, I want to see it. Okay, I want to see what is this, what is there in this mapping. So here you see we have CXML data here, and we have add-on data here. Now you can do a different kind of mapping. Now CIG mapping is a very big topic. I cannot cover anything in this demo, but yeah, for example, I can just show you, like for PO item label or at item level, you see everything is openable, and here is the material group, and I have done some mapping here. This is a hard-coded mapping. So here I have hard-coded it. I want to see it. I can show you. So constant value, it says the constant value is this. So for this material group, I want a hard-coded value. I can give a hard-coded value. If I want to make some mapping between the two, suppose I want whatever timestamp is coming here, same timestamp I want at some other place, or any two field I want to map, I can just drag and drop those two lines, and that's it. Let me try to show you. So what is hard-coded? Hard-coded means that is fixed value. That means suppose you have a plant group and you want, like for every document that is coming, I want a plant group to be ZA1. So whatever you're sending from ERP, doesn't matter. Every time it comes to CIG, from CIG to Ariba, when it will be sent, the hard-coded value will be sent. So that is hard-coded. On the similar note, if you want to map it something, I just want to show you. For example, I want to map, let me take some good thing. For example, this material rank I want to map with material. I can drag and drop. Done. This is said that simple. I want to map with this. Okay, drag and drop. Done. This is how the customization is easy to do in CIG. Just drag and drop. Apart from that, there are many more functions. As I said, customization is a very big topic. There are many other functions that are supported. So we can discuss all those functions in our regular session. But right now, I'm just showing you how easy it is. So let me not save it and close it. So this is how the easy to do a mapping is. And after doing mapping, you can test it. You can deploy in test account. And if you're fine, you can deploy in production account as well. Cloud connector. So as I said, CIG is capable of connecting not only with cloud applications, but it can even connect with your on-prem applications. So cloud connector is something that is required to communicate from a cloud system to on-prem system, or vice versa. In that case, we have to install a separate add-on in the ERP, not on Ariba side, in the ERP. So whatever ERP you are using, you have to install one cloud connector so that your on-prem ERP can communicate with the CIG. So CIG add-on they have to install on their system. So all those details you can see. Cross-reference, as we saw, if there's some custom mapping, some cross-reference values, we'll talk about cross-reference in detail. There are different type of cross-references we'll talk in our regular sessions. So you can define those cross-references here. Authorizations, as I said, like each CIG have a P user. So for this P user, this is the P user, and we got this realm from the Ariba SAP side. So that team is managing it. So we see their email ID over here. Any certificate, whatever connecting to your third party ERP, if some certificate authentications are required, all those certificates are deployed over here. You can see them. Custom routing, you can create some custom routing. When we talk about custom routing, what it means like I want all the invoices to go my ERP, but some invoices which have any condition, any custom value, okay, it has the amount of more than 10,000. For this I want to go to this particular ERP. So anything, I'm just taking a very simple example, but there could be some complex examples as well. So any custom thing that you want to do, any specific supplier, any specific purchasing group, any specific plant, anything that you want to do, okay, I want this to go on different system. You can define all those custom routings over here. Document validator, it is a tool that CIG provides us where you can validate your document whether this document is valid or not valid. You can just copy and paste. Once I paste something, it will validate. So I've just given some dummy data, so it is throwing me error. So I can just give and I can test it. Connectivity tool, so this is a connectivity tool. Here I can check whether my connections are working fine or not. I can just click on test and stop. So here we see, so outbound transactions are successfully connected, inbound have some problem. So it is telling me where the problem is or what the problem is or what is not working. So just a single click and it tells whether the systems are connected or not. Transaction tracker, so this is a transaction tracker where the actual transactions, you can search for a transaction. For example, if I search, I will see all the transactions happened via CIG either to Ariba or to ERP. So I've given some date range here, September 11 and September 12, date and time, and test environment, and no other parameters. So I've given everything by default. So it may take some time, and click on search. So once it loads, it will show me all the transactions that happened. I can check the status of each transaction. I can see where it has gone to and where it has come from and all the details. Let's give it a moment. Yeah, here we go. So there are some transactions that are happening. Now if I want to filter it, I can, for example, I want to see only purchase order, which is actually order request. Okay, order request. I want to see how many POs has gone from 1st of September till date. Okay, I've given the filter. I will search. Now see, I've seen all the order requests. Now if I open any transaction, so it is the name of the sender, buyer, and that is name of the buyer, then source document and everything, all the details, receiver, this is supplier, vendor ID, this is sender, ANID, this is the payload of the incoming document, and this is a destination. That means it has gone to searchservice2.ariba.com. So that means it has gone to Ariba, coming from ERP and gone to Ariba. Activity, so here we see all the activity, like the inbound document came, then it was in pre-processing. That means inbound has come in the form of IDOC. Then pre-processing means it is pre-processing the document, it's validating and all those things. Then process means it is converting from IDOC to CXML, because Ariba understands CXML. So in the process status, it is converting. Then an extension, it is checking, is there any extension, any customization done for this document? No customization. Okay, move next. If yes, it will process that. Any custom routing? No custom routing. Okay, move next, go to default, and outbound. Finally, send to the external system or the destination. Now this is the, here you can download the inbound document, and here you can download the final outbound document. So each and every transaction is stored. You can see the status. You can download the inbound and outbound. You can see if some failure, at what step the failure happened, and suppose it failed something, that time it will show the error. Let me try to show you some error. I'll take some failed document here. If you see the failed document, and if I open this document, it will tell me where it has failed. In the outbound, it failed. So it did not fail anywhere else. All these steps were failed successful, but in the outbound it failed. Why it failed? It will tell me the error as well. So some exception has occurred. So that way it got failed. Same thing I can check over here directly. Failed. Oh, I can see the error. If I want to set the steps, I can open it and there I can see the steps. And I can download the complete error log. So when you open a ticket with Ariba support, they ask you, can you give us some logs? So you can just download those logs. You can give it to Ariba team. Ariba support will understand those logs and they will analyze this one. They will help you. So you need not go to any other system to get the logs, but you can directly download the logs from here. If you click on the download, it will download it, and that's it. So this is the error reference number. You can give this to Ariba support team and they will help you. So this is that much simple. Similarly, we have resources where you can, what in resources, you can get the implementation guide, you can get the guides for each thing. Like for Ariba network, you can see for example, if I show you order, so order IDOC to CXML, so it will tell us what are the mapping that have been done from IDOC to CXML. So like this component or this tag from IDOC is connected or it is converted into this thing in Ariba, right? This thing in Ariba, and this is the map the value to AN supplier ID. There's a description what it is doing. Data type is string. Description, required, not required. All the essential technical information it can give you, or you can download it from the mapping specification files. And these are certificates, CIG certificate. That means when you have installed Cloud Connector in your on-prem systems, and if you want to connect to CIG, then you have to install certain certificates in their Cloud Connector. So those certificates you can download from here. So all the certificates you might be, since you have experience working on Ariba, you might be knowing, like we get notifications from Ariba, like they are changing some certificate that you have to upgrade your system. So all those downloads or you can certificate you can take care from here. Anyway, CIG is managed by completely Ariba. So if a customer is on CIG, then they need not worry about it. Master characteristics. So here you can again do some more mapping, which we will discuss in regular sessions, but not possible to discuss over here. Now this is a test central. This is the same thing like when we create a project, we go to test. So that is a test project specific test. But if you want to create your own custom or a complete test script, you can just create your own test script over here for yours to test it. This is the same screen that we opened there. So here you can make a script run to test the flow. So there are so many features and there are so many things. So I just gave you an overview of all the options of Ariba and how the complexity has been reduced and how easy it is, how easy the mapping is, how easy the create a project is, how easy the filling the connection is, and everything is so simple. Enabling, disabling, everything is so easy to do in the CIG. So that's what it says. So it redefines how you integrate with world's largest business commerce network, provides a simple and efficient way to integrate with Ariba apps and facilitate transacting with the trading partners faster. Provide SAP Ariba an opportunity to deliver integration as a service, it is IaaS, to our customers. Built on SAP CPI, so that I said, like it is built on SAP CPI tenant, which is again built on top of SAP Cloud Platform. So CPI is again built on SCP. Provides a self-service portal that allows user to configure, integrate to Ariba apps and transact with trading partners seamlessly. So that's what we saw. It's very easy portal. Guides you through each step required to connect it to your backend system. So if you need help at any point, you can get the help from the CIG. Will tell you what has to be entered here. If you're entering some wrong value or some input in value, CIG will tell you this is not a expected value. Expected value should be something like this. So all those things are there. So configure your integration between Ariba apps and ERP and manage one or more ERP backend system. You can connect multiple ERPs, not only one ERP. With one CIG, you can connect multiple ERPs. Specify cross-reference value mapping, validate and self-test transaction document before go live, monitor and track the integrations lifecycle overall. So you can keep a check on the integration project that you have created. Talking about some benefits of Ariba, so there are few benefits like connect once to Ariba network or Ariba application, turn integration into a simple scalable process, time saving tool, shorten deployment time, free up IT resources. So free up IT resources means you're not required to have any additional team. You're not required to have your dependency on third-party consultants or any other consultants. Your team can do it. Transform testing and speed efficiency. So system will test the system, everything for you. You need not require to have any more testers. So these are certain benefits. Easy upgrades, realize fast time to value, reap the reward of the integration. That means whatever integration you have done, you will get the benefit out of that. So that's all from today. So features I think we have already discussed. So nothing much over here, and rest of the things we will get once we will have our regular sessions. So that was a very brief introduction of CIG, all the benefits, the components, the connectivity. We'll talk about these things more in details once we will have a regular session, but right now we just went through them on a speedy way so that we can cover maximum that we can do, and you can get more idea what CIG is capable of. How do we make it more meaningful to us? Any questions to anyone? Now we are open for question and answers.
Yes, Ashok, what is the time or duration of this course when we can complete it?
So it depends. So if you have, I mean, good understanding on integration things, if you have good understanding of the transactional documents, then it can be covered within 20 to 25 hours. But if you want to more understanding or more time on testing or getting more idea, it may extend to 30 hours, not more than that.
Okay,
so
but
we can say
so I do not have any integration experience, and that's why I want to explore it. Okay. Actually, the thing is that I'm on notice period recently, and everyone is asking for the CIG knowledge. That's why I am trying to enroll for this session. Okay. And I want to get the most of it within these 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main motto of joining the session.
Then obviously this session will help you a lot, because here I will explain you each and every small things in our session, and for time, as I said, depends or varies from 20 to 30 hours based upon the individual's knowledge or the experience. So it won't take more than 30 hours for sure, with covering everything in detail.
Okay, and what about anything for the practice or something like that?
So for practice, do you have access to your existing systems wherever you work or not?
No, I do not have access to that. And basically, we are not using CIG. That's the most important point.
Okay, so actually we have to think of that. I mean, how we can give you access. So we have access, so we will try to share the same access with you, or we will get the user ID and password created for each one of you.
Okay.
But since we will have only one account, so as I said, like in one account, the CIG can be enabled only once, right? So CIG is already enabled, so that part I can show you some different account, but that is one-time activity. But rest other things you can carry on.
Yeah, right? So I just want to get the hands-on, so I can explain it to the interviewers, and I can get into the directly the implementation project.
Right. Right. Yeah, that is quite possible.
Okay. And do our means we are doing anything from the ECC side, any configurations, or how to say enable the CIG from ECC or S4 side?
So as I said, like CIG is enabled only from the Ariba side, so we will enable it only from Ariba side, and to work it, make it from
Okay.
ECC side or ESCO side, we have to, because those are on-prem systems, and since those are on-prem systems, so we have to install a SAP CIG add-on in that system, and once that is installed, and then we have to do some cloud connector settings in the SAP side. So I will show you all those settings. So we have the external access where we will show you all those things.
Okay, that's it from my side.
Okay, sure, thanks. Anybody else?
Can you show the notepad one?
Yeah, sure.
Something related to that steps, right? What you mentioned. Yeah,
This one.
Yeah. Just a second. Huh? Want
Sure.
to take a screenshot of it?
Oh, okay, sure, you can take it. I mean, they are just a brief steps. There are a few more things, technical things that I did not tell. But this is the right process that happens.
Thank you.
This is the actual process that happens. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, regarding any study materials or means the demo, these recordings we are going through the sessions, can we get that for practice purpose or to go through it once again?
So whatever study materials we will walk through other sessions, those all will be shared. And if there are any recording, those will be made as public.
Okay, so that will be available to the participants,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we get system access?
So SAP system access we cannot give you because that we are using SAP system, so that is very much limited to us. But for CIG system access, we can give you. Okay.
Okay, so you mean Ariba RAM access will you, right?
Yes, that we will give you. Yeah.
Okay, and we can practice on it, right? To get the hands on. In the test account.
With limited access, I mean, when I say limited access, because these are test systems and they have test data, right? So if we completely open it for practicing, then it happens like we have seen it, people destroy the systems and again getting it back to the original state is very difficult. So we give limited access, or whatever we train, only those components we give the access so that you can edit it, you can view it, but there is no option to delete anything. So yeah, we will have the access to practice it, but again I would say a kind of not completely open to make the data consistency, but yeah, you can make most of the changes.
Okay. So will we be able to create an integration project and test it?
That you can do, yeah, that you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same question I was having. If we can create the project and test it.
Yeah, that you can do, yeah, that is possible.
Okay, and then after our practice, you can delete it if you are
right, yeah,
from your end.
Right, that we will do, because that's what I said, like we do not give complete access, because we have seen like we maintain the project and people, when initially it happened, like they got the access and they deleted the actual project that we created, and we have to redo the work entirely from starting. So that's why we did not give all the access, but yeah, for whatever is required for practicing, whatever sessions we are taking, for all those things we give the access.
But one more question. To see whether the integration happened, we need to check the ECC system also, right? SAP system also. Only then we understand whether the integration has properly happened or not. correct?
That we will show you from my side. Either side, like SAP system access, we can't give you. So if you make some project, yeah, and we will show you like, and we will do the transaction from SAP side. Then you will see like the transactions happening from your project or the project that you have created.
Okay, so that you show as a part of the course.
Right. We will show you by sharing my screen. We will show you all the things, even the SAP side configuration, whatever we do, all those configuration I will show you by sharing my screens.
Okay. About the supply chain collaboration part also in this CIG.
So supply chain collaboration is a different topic altogether. Supply chain collaboration is supported by CIG, but we cannot, end to end we cannot show you because supply chain collaboration requires a lot of configuration from SAP side, right?
Okay.
Just,
The reason is something, extension of commerce automation, right? So where the high level process are involved, like forecast, commit, manufacturing, third party.
I would not say it is an extension of commerce automation because commerce automation is a normal purchase order, but supply chain collaboration requires so many other things to be done. It is more for the manufacturing industries, and supply chain collaboration deals with many things, as you said, forecast data, planning data, and all those things, right? And it requires a lots of enablement from ERP side and also from the Ariba side. So right, so supply chain collaboration is a very different topic, but I can show you that different document transactions type happening by CIG for supply chain collaboration, like how forecast data is going, how it looks like, how planning data is going, how it looks like, all those things I can show you. But we will not go into detail because that is a different topic and that is a different training session, in fact.
Okay. So for that you have a separate training session.
Right, we have it separate because supply chain collaboration is a very long topic, right? We have so many things there. So we have a separate training for that, and that also runs for 20 to 25 hours.
Okay, and if we after this training, if I get into the implementation project on the CIG, and if I get any issues which is not resolved by myself, is there any kind of support you provide to resolve that issues? Or
I think in that case you have to reach to Ariba support team because we do not have access to customer systems, right? So
no, not like that. Not to access the system, but just if we connect with you and tell you this is the issue, what should be done. So
yeah, up to that level we can help you, but again, fixing the issue is something that we cannot help you, right? Because
yeah, that I can understand that you are not having access to our system, but verbally you can assist, right? If means issue is known to you.
Right. That much we can do, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if there are no more questions, then we can wrap up this demo sessions, and we'll meet in our regular session soon, I believe, right?
Okay. So when it will be starting a regular session?
You can contact to the person who are already in touch with. He will give you all the details when we're starting it, what will be timing, so that all the details you can get from him.
Okay. So it will be only on weekends or weekdays also, and what will be timing? So all this information will.
Yeah, based upon the, let me tell you, based upon the how many people join and what are the convenient time for each one of them, because if we have people and who are only free in morning or some are free only in evening, then we have to decide on many things, right? So, but that all details will be shared. First, we get to know how many people are joining and what is that convenient days and timing. Accordingly, we will plan it. Then those details will be shared.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can contact to Subbu. I think you might be having the Subbu's number, right? WhatsApp number. So you can contact Subbu for all those details and he will communicate, right? If not, you can see on the chat. He has put his number on the chat. You can just connect with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for this informative session.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.